Our first historical record of the Franks comes from the Romans. They were originally referred to as the Chatti, a Germanic tribe living along the eastern bank of the Rhine. The tribe appeared to have gone through a civil conflict in which part of the tribe migrated across the Rhine into Roman territory. The Romans agreed to allowing the migrating Chatti to settle in the modern area of the Netherlands. Tacitus tells us that these people would eventually become the Batavians, and after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the Franks. It is important to make the distinction between the Germanic tribe and the later use of the term Frank to refer to ethnic French people. Up until the age of Charlemagne, the Franks were a Germanic tribe who had conquered much of Central Europe. After the splintering of the Frankish Empire, the term Frank became linked to the Gallo-Roman peoples of modern-day France. In the Middle East, particularly during the age of the Crusades, Frank was a term commonly used to denote any European. The Batavian peoples were used primarily as soldiers by the Romans. The Batavians and later Franks would play a central role in the Roman military, and many Franks would rise to prominent positions of power within the Roman state. The origins of the term Frank is unknown. There have also been proposals that Frank comes from the Germanic word for javelin, such as in Old English, Franca, or Old Norse, Fraka. Words in other Germanic languages meaning fierce and bold, such as German, Frek, Middle Dutch, Frak, Old English, Freak, and Old Norwegian, Frakker, may also be related. Modern Dutch is descended from Old Frankish. The Frankish people are commonly divided into two distinct groups: the Salian Franks, living in the area of what today is the Netherlands, and the Ripuarian Franks, who lived on the eastern side of the Rhine, near the modern city of Cologne. The rise of the Franks starts in the middle of the 5th century with Childeric I, a Salian Frank, who was one of several Frankish military leaders commanding Roman forces. Childeric and his son Clovis would become the founders of the Merovingian dynasty, which would succeed in conquering most of Gaul during the 6th century, as well as establishing leadership over all the Frankish kingdoms on or near the Rhine frontier. Clovis was the first king of the Franks to unite all of the Frankish tribes under one ruler, changing the form of leadership from a group of petty kings to rule by a single king and ensuring that the kingship was passed down to his children. Clovis is also significant because of his conversion to Nicene Christianity in 496, largely at the behest of his wife, Clotilde, who would later be venerated as a saint for this act. Celebrated today in both the Roman Catholic Church and Eastern Orthodox Church, Clovis was baptized on Christmas Day in 508. The adoption by Clovis of Nicene Christianity led to widespread conversion among the Frankish peoples. The Franks subsequently gained control over a significant part of what is now western and southern Germany. It was by building upon the basis of this Merovingian empire that the subsequent dynasty, the Carolingians, eventually came to be seen as the new emperors of Western Europe in 800, when Charlemagne was crowned by the Pope. The most famous of the Frankish kings was Charlemagne, or Charles the Great. Charlemagne was king of the Franks from 768, and it would be under his leadership that the Frankish Empire would be at the height of its power. The massacre of Verdun was an event during the Saxon Wars where Charlemagne ordered the death of 4,500 Saxons in October 782. Charlemagne took control of Saxony, and in 772 destroyed the Irminsul, an important object in Saxon paganism, during his intermittent 30-year campaign to Christianize the Saxons. The massacre occurred in Verdun in what is now Lower Saxony, Germany. The event is attested in contemporary Frankish sources, including the Royal Frankish Annals. Charlemagne has been called the father of Europe, as he united most of Western Europe for the first time since the classical era of the Roman Empire, as well as uniting parts of Europe that had never been under Roman rule. His reign spurred the Carolingian Renaissance, a period of energetic cultural and intellectual activity within the Western Church. In 870, the Frankish realm came to be permanently divided between Western and Eastern kingdoms, which were the predecessors of the future Kingdom of France and Holy Roman Empire respectively.